Yeah. Welcome back to Pirate Radio Broadcast. I am Armin. Well, like I said yesterday, I believe I was doing some yard work in the back because of strong winds a long, long time ago knocked down my, or at least messed up my privacy fence. I did notice that the board had a nail sticking up and I stepped on it. But now it's healing. Um, Went to the store, no problems. I'm trying to imagine what it might be like to fight so hard to pass a House bill with $1,200 breadcrumbs, token money. I mean, hey, it's important, The people need, even if it's $1,200. I understand, but still, $2,000 per person, 12 months. It's not gonna make people lazy and not want to go back to work. People, it's gonna take at least 6, 7 more months at tops for this pandemic to really start decreasing. We got children who are being infected. We're not over this. I know Trump is excited about opening up everything, but businesses need customers. And the customers, over 30 million people lost their jobs because businesses could not meet payroll. That $2,000 per month a long time ago would have jump started this economy, kept it going. And who wouldn't want to increase their income by going back to work and having this stimulus, $2,000 per month, and then on top of that, going back to work? You understand? Getting a paycheck. It's just human nature to try to get back to work and increase your monthly income. So though $2,000 per month wouldn't last a long time, but this $1,200 is not helping businesses meet payroll. It's hurting the economy. I know they want to try to make Joe Biden the next FDR, but dude, seriously, have you done your research, Democrats? You know what led to the Depression and what led to getting us out? Oh, do your research, at least do your math. Must we all suffer the consequences because they want Joe Biden to go from being dementia to hallucinations, that he's the next FDR? Well, I know I've been saying this over and over again. I feel like this is back when I ran for mayor forewarning about Osama bin Laden. Here it comes again. Hey, Osama, what's up? I'll be quiet. Just go back to sleep. You're dead. Little pirate radio broadcast humor. I feel like I'm in a time warp, you know, forewarning about Osama bin Laden. Nobody's paying attention. Well, I'm forewarning about this economic disaster, and everybody's like, "Oh, great, we're gonna get another $1,200." Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, wow, yay! Well, if Trump and the Republicans support it, which they're saying they won't because they got a lot of grievances against this, it's not enough, and it's too much left wing nonsense. Um, what a waste of time. Now, they won't get back until after, what, Memorial Day or something like that, in a couple of weeks or something, a week, the Senate. So it's Nothing's going to happen. Oh my gosh, except that. I know I should be more serious and, you know, warrior. Dude, I was that when I ran. Nobody paid attention to me because I was too serious. Why so serious? This guy's not going to attack. That's what they told me. What does Osama bin Laden have to do with local politics? Yeah, a couple months later, he strikes on 9/11, and then we get two wars, and young men from my area start coming home dead. That's what Osama bin Laden had to do with South Texas and Texas. We got a lot of Texans came home from the war, casualties. Why do I feel I got a big forehead? Did I get hit on the head? Let's examine what is wrong with me. First, that hand-to-hand combat with drug cartel over in Reynosa, lost my tooth. That's one of the early what's wrong with me. And it was on behalf of these two young female friends, co-workers. They wanted to celebrate the birthday of the younger girl in Reynosa because there was a monkey, a tourist attraction. So I had to go as a bodyguard. And lucky for those two girls, got the monitor. But that's one thing that's wrong with me. Then was it here? Yeah. Got when I was a kid, I took a room in the attic. We were renting, and I think I got bitten by a spider or something. And then a big uh, blob, and eventually it went away. But I got this now mark. That's another thing that's wrong with me. I believe in the existence of my guardian angels. That's another thing. That's because as a little boy in East Texas, the Ku Klux Klan set fire to our house, and I got trapped in the house. And the guardian angels were sent to me to prepare me to be burned to death. But my mom um, had other plans. I was the last of her sons that she had, and she, accounted for all my brothers, and I was the only one, the youngest, the baby of the family. So she was at the door screaming my name, and my two baby boy angels and me, we were preparing for my death, and they were telling me that the Ku Klux Klan were going to come back because now that my family survived, they're witnesses to a hate crime. So the Klan were going to come back with shotguns and finish the job. So my two baby boy angels and me were going to fight the Klan, and my dad, who was a decorated World War II Army infantry, would know what to do and take the family and escape into the woods. My mom had other plans, and she was of that World War II generation where those, especially the she Latinas back then were raised very different, probably still are today. So that generation of Latina, the World War II, her core, what made her her, was one day she'd get married and have kids, start a family. That is what she was all about. And sure, when the men went out to fight in World War II, they got letters, the family got letters from a lot of these men saying this is what they're fighting. The Japanese warriors, Pearl Harbor, where women saw just how easy it was for these Japanese warriors to just obliterate people. And the fascists of Italy, where my dad was fighting in a army infantry, he saw a lot of combat. And then there was the Nazi regime, you know, all these different type of men were committing crimes when they invaded the towns and villages. They were committing crimes against women and young girls. So all this word got back home. You know, the women back here realized if the men lost, life would be just miserable. And so that's why a lot of them had to go to work, even though it was some jobs were dangerous, but hard jobs. They weren't just fighting for the men, they were fighting for themselves. And and so when the war was over, my mom got married and started having her family. So in East Texas, 1973, she was standing at a door and she couldn't let me die a horrible death. It just went against her core as a Latina. And it literally, the God of Moses and Christ literally parted the smoke. And my two baby boy angels and me, we saw my mom, and then she saw me. And the Latina mom, without saying a word, with that look in her eyes, and pointed at her feet, she didn't say nothing. My two baby boy angels obeyed, even though we had orders from the God of Moses that I was going to die and then we were going to fight the clan and my family were going to escape. But once my mom, the Latina, with that look in her eyes and pointing, demanding obedience, um, my two baby boy angels grabbed me. We went running. We were almost past her at the door, and I don't know why. She grabs me from the back. My two baby boy angels are now being flung backwards from behind. She's leading us out the door. My gosh, people, I nearly got you know, a neck break. But that that's the Latina mom for you. That's what they do. They really are passionate, when they fight for their kids, especially that generation. Well, sure enough, the clan came back. My two baby boy angels and me now had a change of plans. I was now still part human, so we were still have to fight them. We were standing by the station wagon, and my family were shifting through the rubble. And here come the clan in their pickup trucks. Oh, they get out and they got their shotguns, and we're staring at them. And eventually, they go quiet and they stare at us. My two baby boy angels. Back then, I was very white, and as a little boy, it wasn't until I came back to Texas that I got I got the color. But I think when they saw the three of us, they must have thought that we were the survivors of that fire, because they just got in their pickup trucks and they drove away as fast as possible. Oh my gosh, that was the last time we ever saw them. They got spooked. They saw three little boys, very pale white. So, in a very twisted way, or uh, a strange way, we ended up defending the family. We didn't have to run at them and attack. Just our appearance alone scared the hell out of them. Thank you, Lord. And it wasn't until June to December 1990 the God of Moses sent more baby angels, boys and girls, because for some unknown reason, and I don't know why, President Bush Sr. decided he wanted to send American troops and a coalition to the Persian Gulf. Who does that? Well, he did. He had some sort of grievance against Saddam Hussein. I don't know. I think they invaded Kuwait or something. And so this is the first time major offensive into the Middle East that I know of. And Saddam allegedly had weapons of mass destruction that supposedly did not exist. Oh, they did exist. But my guardian angels and me, these guardian angels were children, newbies, never experienced war. They were brand new, boys and girls. January 2nd to September 12th, we go in. We go into the system, and I have a cover story. My family have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going in on a mission, a super secret mission, and 9 months. And I remember the baby girl angels were complaining because the men on the ground, the Iraqis, their religion suppresses women, and they felt the presence of something, which were the baby girl angels, something in the sky, and they kept firing, and the whole night sky got illuminated. The baby girl angels were what they sensed, and their religion is very anti-female, so they sensed there was something up there, which they were baby girl angels and the baby boy angels. So every chance that they could, the baby girl angels they took it personal, and they would zoom in and hit these men at the side of the head and then zoom back up. The whole night sky was lit up, illuminated with firefight, surface to air missiles, and the baby girl angels would be reporting, they're trying to kill us. They're firing everything at us. And they're like Top Gun, maneuvering, avoiding the hits. And as the months went by, a whole convoy, a caravan of destruction, burnt dead bodies. Oh my gosh, it was. And then the Iraqi men, sensing the presence of my baby angels, especially the baby girl angels, were extremely agitated. They set fire to the oil. I mean, environmental disaster, people. The thick black smoke, and the baby girl angels and the baby boy angels were standing there staring at all this. And they were reporting back to me that it was like that movie that we watched, Apocalypse Now, with Marlon Brando and Martin Sheen. It was like they were in Apocalypse Now. Well, as our tour duty was coming to an end, we were sent to Minnesota for my cover story. And I had a very attractive young therapist named Nancy. And um, she was my therapist. And I remember my guardian angels were sitting on the grass, and I was sitting outside the main building on the concrete um, bench. And military officers from the different branches came to visit, and they stood nearby talking. And the Air Force guy, the military officer, sat down next to me. We started talking, and he started asking, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. How you doing? He said, pretty good. He said, the war turned out to be successful, and he thanked me and um, wished me well, and then he left with the officers. That's when my baby angels and me realized, that's it, we're going home. And then we went back home, and it was we finally relaxed. 9 long months, people. Oh my gosh. 9 long months. It was an experience. And then I was placed on exercise disability and then later Social Security. Then I got a job as a delivery driver and started having relationships, casual relationships with different co-workers, female co-workers. And but they never wanted to commit to me, and I didn't commit to them. So I never had that um, relationship with a woman that there's commitment. They, I guess I wasn't the kind of guy that they would commit to. I was just somebody that we hung out together, went to bowling, to the movies, or went out drinking. Um, I was just a casual, close, intimate male friend to these girls, and so and vice versa, they to me at different times. But now I'm basically retired, and my guardian angels and me are kind of worried about this pandemic, this economic crisis. Over 30 million people out of work. Businesses don't have the money, the customers, to meet payroll. And Nancy Pelosi's House bill she fought for with proxy is going to be defeated. At least that's what the Republicans are saying. They're going to defeat it. So they should be doing the $2,000 per month for 12 months because it's not going to make people lazy. They're not going to want to stay home instead of working. It's going to put money back into the businesses. They'll finally have the money to meet payroll. And they'll start slowly rehiring these people. It's because they don't have the money to meet payroll. They don't have the customers. Power failure. And so, did you know that? And so, that's why there's over 30 million people out of work. They should have passed this $2,000 per month a long time ago. We wouldn't be in this mess. This recklessness, reckless abandonment of common sense, people. What can I say? What can I say that I haven't said already? And there's no way my guardian angels are going to manifest to convince them. They're not going to manifest and prove that they exist just to convince them to do the right thing. The only time they'll manifest is if things really go south and we have a Great Depression. Maybe. But you have free will, and we're not allowed to interfere. But it doesn't apply to everybody. Free will. It didn't apply to this guy. We went after him. We dropped bunker busters on him at Tora Bora. He escaped. And then at the compound, he was like, looking out, and my guardian angels were there with the special ops, and they put a bullet in him. And that was the end of it, Bye-bye, Usama. And every now and then we pull him out, and remind everybody that when you don't pay attention to us, you get, like back then, 9/11, and today, this disaster. So this is a reminder of what happens when you don't pay attention to us. We know our craziness. We've got it down. We know our crazy. We know our shit. Pardon my French. But we know our craziness. We're not saying all this just to be crazy. There's a craziness to our craziness. And we're forewarning that Nancy Pelosi's craziness is crazy. Our craziness is, hey, back off. Let's get the $2,000 per person, 12 months. Let's empower the consumers and empower the businesses then they can start hiring people. Who wouldn't want to get partial stimulus until for 12 months and they get their jobs back? That's more money, people. It's in human nature to want to go back to work and make more money. It's about the money, the money. Well, I'm working on another Ghost Recon Breakpoint, so video game. Watching you, Nancy Pelosi. Watching you. Girl power. Yeah, right. You go into the Gulf War the way we did, and you do what we did, then maybe we'll believe there should be a female president or Speaker of the House. You don't know what you're doing. Your female brain is not connecting. It's like, you're distracted by chocolate, ice cream. Does he still love me? Is he fooling around with that beautiful intern? Yeah. You're Nancy Pelosi. Ah, you people need to get rid of her. Seriously, you need to get rid of her. It's She's lost it, and this thing's probably going to get shot down in the Senate. What a wasted time. And people.